The exchange schema is used to define the root element of the instance, the root element for the actual instance document that forms the payload for an information exchange. That's the root element of the XML. It also acts as an entry point for validation. So when you go to validate an instance document against a set of schema, you start with the exchange schema. Now the exchange schema includes many of the same things an extension schema does. It has a unique namespace declaration. It also declares all the namespaces used by different elements and types within it. That would include the extension schema being used, things out of the NIEM, and XML schema stuff from W3C. It'll also include import statements for all of those namespaces, again except for W3C, and it will define the root element and optionally the type of the root element. So the root element is the key thing created in an exchange schema. Now I mentioned optionally the type because some people like to include the type declaration and definition inside the exchange schema along with the root element. It makes it easy to see at a glance what's in the root element. Other people like to push that off and keep that in the extension schema. It's really pretty much up to you to do it either way. Here's an example of what an exchange schema looks like. It starts out with the schema element, and then it has a target namespace. So again, here's our namespace being declared for this particular schema, in this case my namespace.com/exchange/1.0 instead of extension. We have our namespace declarations. This time, instead of calling it ext for the extension one, we're going to call it doc for document. You could call it like exchange for exchange, whatever you want though. Then we've got XML schema. We've got our extension schema there because we're going to reference something from the extension schema. And then again, we have our own friend app info. Then down below, we import some stuff again. We import in the extension schema we're going to use as well as app info. Now, we don't declare or import any NIEM ones in this case because we're not directly using any NIEM elements or types here other than app info. And we can see that by looking down at the bottom where we define our element. And we just called it my root element because this is just a template. And its type is my root type out of the extension schema. See the ext colon. So that's from the extension namespace. So see that line? Do you see anything out of the NIEM? No, you don't. You see the local name, my root element, and then you see something out of the extension schema. Since we're not using anything in this schema from the NIEM, we don't have to declare it here and we don't have to import that schema in.